Hey guys, welcome back to another very special episode, because today we've got a comparison between a Tesla and a Lexus, but not like a comparison you've ever seen before, because what are we doing, Andre?
Yep, we're doing the ultimate towing comparison between a traditional gas V8 powered luxury SUV and an electric luxury SUV. If you have been wondering which tows better, wonder no more. This video is gonna answer.
Alright, so here's what we're doing. We have a 32-mile towing torture test from here in Boulder, Colorado, up into the Rocky Mountains and back down again. It's 32 miles up, 32 miles back for 64 miles total, and we are comparing the efficiency of both vehicles, the cost to refill both vehicles, the time it takes to refill both vehicles.
This is our very own Tesla Model X, our long-term tester. And currently, this electric luxury SUV is the one that can tow the most, currently for sale on the market. About 5,000 pounds maximum towing rating.
What we have here is the Lexus LX 570, and I can't wait to read all the comments, because all the Tesla fanboys are going to be diving into the comments section just screaming at me, "These two don't compete! How dare you compare them?" Yes, I know, I get it. This one is bigger than the Tesla, but here's the deal. We wanted to compare the past versus the future, and most modern three-row SUVs are now becoming turbocharged and unibody. This is as old school as you can get. Body on frame, solid rear axle, a traditional naturally aspirated V8. It's big, it's heavy, it's kind of slow. But the question is, which one of these 100K plus, because you can't spec them out both to be over 100K, which one of these luxury SUVs is the king at towing? Is it modern tech, or is it good old school dyno juice? Now it's time for Andre and I to hook up. Can't say it like that. Now what we're gonna do is a hookup challenge. Also can't say it like that. We're gonna see which one of these vehicles is easier to hook up to our trailer. So, Andre, let's start with the Lexus.
Who says four-cylinder cars aren't quick in a straight line? Today we're gonna find out, because we got 4 really hot cars that we're gonna drag race, starting with this, the brand new Miata. Next up is the Honda Civic Si. Next we've got this Mini GP, 218 horsepower. Finally, the one that's got everybody talking, the brand new Honda Civic Type R.
In 3, 2, 1, hook up that trailer.
Okay, because this is a luxury SUV, the hitch has a cover on the bumper, so you have to have some tool, maybe a screwdriver or a little knife, to pop out these little pins. We're using our Iron Bull trailer that we got from Jayhawk. It weighs almost 3,000 pounds. I'm gonna install the hitch. Maybe I do need to get it lower, because this is a big proper off-road truck. Here's the pin. The pin is almost done. Okay. The camera is not centered, so it was a little challenging to back up to the hitch, but I nailed it. Just need to lower it onto the hitch. Okay, almost there.
I'm eating a bagel.
This Lexus doesn't have a trailer brake controller. We have to have one. We're going into the mountains. We're towing over 3,000 pounds. I'm going to be using this solution. This is a Prodigy RF remote control brake controller. I am going to spin the chain a little bit to shorten it. Safety latch, breakaway cable.
Andre, I'd love to help, but you are the self-proclaimed Mr. Tow. So I wouldn't dare help you.
That's it?
Done? Oh, 6 minutes and 32 seconds.
Oh, geez.
I only had half a bagel.
And one more thing, this is the other end of the remote brake controller. C means connected. I know you cannot see the numbers very precisely on the camera, but boom, the brakes work. Beautiful.
We want to put something on this trailer that's representative of what you guys would tow. Something like a side-by-side, because a lot of owners of these luxury SUVs have toys like side-by-side they want to haul to the trailhead. So here is not what I wanted to show up. Andre, side-by-side, not 70s Subaru.
This is a side-by-side.
Oh geez, so something tells me our side-by-side was unavailable for this test. Funny enough, this weighs about the same as a side-by-side, believe it or not, about 1,900 pounds, and some of the new side-by-sides are getting close to 2,000 pounds, so...
This has proper four-wheel drive.
Yes, but it's a Subaru.
Oh yeah! That was proper, Tommy.
Oh yeah. Four-wheel drive, baby. Well, I had it in front-wheel drive, but it could have four-wheel drive, baby.
Ready to go, the Lexus is towing. I'm gonna zero out my trip meter, 0, 0. And then also up here, I'm gonna zero out my MPG meter, right there.
How much are we hauling, by the way? What's the weight of that trailer and the Subaru combined?
The trailer weighs about 3,000, the Subaru weighs about 1,900. So we're at about 4,900 pounds, which for this Lexus, it should be a piece of cake because it's rated to tow about 7,000. But it will actually max out that Tesla.
Now we should explain the test procedure. In order to figure out how much fuel the Lexus is using, we have to fill it up all the way, right? And then fill it up again, is that correct?
Yes, and then we'll know how many gallons we've used according to the pump. And then we can actually, because we know how big of a tank we have, we can actually calculate the percentage of fuel used. The 570 stands for basically the displacement. It's a 5.7 liter V8, and this is basically a Toyota Tundra truck engine. It's very powerful, 383 horsepower and 403 pound-feet of torque. It's made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. It accelerates smoothly, it has plenty of power. I do have a little eco gauge that reminds me to stay out of the throttle a little bit.
Okay, Andre, we've been driving for a little bit and now it's time to start climbing up into the Rockies. How is the Lexus doing?
First, the engine still has gobs of power, but I can tell there's a weight behind me. The acceleration is a little bit slower, but if I put my foot down, the revs come up, the transmission is great, and the way it's handling the weight is just superb. I do not feel any squat, the suspension is soft, the ride is rock solid.
What is your current MPG over the last 15 miles or so?
My meter is currently showing 12.0.
The Tesla is showing 228 watt hours per mile, which is really low, but as we start climbing, that number is certainly going to go up. The good news is I'll be able to recoup some energy on the way back down the mountain, which you'll just be kind of wasting in heat on brakes. Here we are at the turnaround at Bug School Road. This is actually a very popular off-road area. Here in the Tesla we have a little consumption graph and you can see the trip. We've gone 32 miles and if I go to the 30-mile consumption table, you can see that for about half of the trip it was relatively rolling as we left Boulder. And then as soon as we hit the mountains outside of Lyons, Colorado, the consumption just shot way up. So anytime you see orange like this, you're using a lot of power. The watt hour per mile average is 419. And as we go down the hill, we're going to regen a lot of that power back into the battery.
In the Lexus towing, We just did half the trip, 32.5 miles, 8.9 mpg. That's after climbing the mountain. I want to see exactly how the transmission behaves on the way down, because I do need grade shifting, and right now I need to slow down. I'm gonna push the brake. Okay, it did one downshift, but not aggressive. Okay, another brake application. Weird. Not a lot of downshifting. I'm gonna go manual. Okay, so I went to sport shift mode, and I selected third gear. It will stay in third, and it's giving me additional grade shifting this way.
Quite honestly, it's a great feeling knowing that I'm putting potential range back into the battery coming down the mountain here. I'll let you see. So everything you see there in green is actually power going back into the battery. That's the vehicle regenning.
Alright, so Tommy's at the supercharger at the Tesla station, just a block away, and I'm here at the fuel stop. So we're very close in Boulder. I'm gonna start my timer and see exactly how long it takes me to fuel up. The computer said about 11.6 with 64 miles approximately on a total trip with the trailer. Let's see what the pump says. I'm using the same fill-up procedure. Let it fill, wait 30 seconds and top off. That way we can get an even fill every single time. And also I'm using 91 octane. It's $2.65 a gallon right here, right now for premium fuel. Well, let's see how many gallons and what the total sale is. Okay, stop. 5 minutes and 28 seconds approximately. The total fuel tank capacity on the Lexus LX is 24.6 gallons according to the spec sheet. 64 miles divided by 5.073 equals 12.6 mpg. The result I got was really good, I think, for this towing test.
So to go 64 miles, I only used 17% battery, or according to the car, about 55 miles of range. So we did really well on those 64 miles. So now I'm gonna start and see how long it takes to return this car back to our starting percentage of 82%. Are we ready? In 3, 2, 1, go. We are here at the Tesla Supercharger. This is just down the street from our offices. So pop it open, plug it in, and let her charge. So we're starting this test at 82% charge rather than 100% charge, and let me explain why 82%. Electric cars charge very slowly as they get full. It's kind of like fans coming into a stadium. When fans come streaming into a completely empty stadium, the rate at which they come in is very fast because the seats are completely empty. They can sit where they want, they just go to their seat and they sit down. But as the stadium gets more and more full, the fans have to start crawling over each other and moving around each other to find a space to sit. And then the rate at which the fans can enter really slows down. That's the same thing with charging an electric car. As it gets more and more full, the rate at which it can charge decreases rapidly. So we are filling to 82% because above 80% these cars fill very slowly. Why 82% and not 80%? Quite honestly, that's just the way the test worked out. I wanted to leave the office with exactly 80%, but it ended up being about 2% more full, so that's the number we're charging to. Hey Andre!
Hey, you're on camera.
I'm on camera.
Are you on camera?
No, but I can be. Yeah, I am on camera actually. What's up?
So, I'm done with my fill up. How you doing?
Good. I'm not quite done with my fill up, I have to say. I'm at 73%. Okay, it says about 10 minutes remaining. And so far we have been here for 9 minutes. We just got back up to 82%, so I'm gonna stop the clock. 19 minutes to fill about 17% charge in the Tesla. Whew, and we sucked up 16 kilowatt hours, so that's how much power we used going on our little adventure to the mountains. And there is a final cost for our supercharging session, $4.25. Let's unplug and do this all over again, but towing with a Tesla. Let's see how long it takes to hook up the trailer in 3, 2, 1, go!
Go! So first I need to install the hitch receiver. So I need to take these out. I need to, of course, lay down on the ground, make sure I can see everything. Come on, why does this have to be so difficult? I think I know why, because the Tesla is actually very aerodynamic, it's very efficiency minded, but if this is the future of towing, I might want to retire soon. We're using the same hitch, so it's all fair. Okay, my shaft is not going into the hitch. Hold on a second. Oh, this is a 2-inch receiver, 2-inch hitch, standard Lexus was just fine. Okay. How am I doing on time?
Yeah, great.
No. What I can do is actually adjust the tongue height on the trailer because this is adjustable. Boom! Pretty easy now, the Tesla can go.
Stop.
I will secure the cable here. Chains. Finally, breakaway cable. Elon, on a Cybertruck, please put the hitch where I can see it, okay?
Are you done?
Yes.
All right. So about 6 minutes in the Lexus.
Yes.
Only 35 minutes and 31 seconds for the Tesla.
What?
We've been using this hitch for years, or these Gen Y hitches for years, and we've
Yes.
never had an issue fitting a 2-inch hitch in a 2-inch receiver. But unlike the Fords, the Chevys, every Lincoln we've tried, these always fit.
Yeah, and also the Lexus was fine. Yes.
Okay, Andre, so we've switched vehicles. I am now in the Lexus, not towing, and you are in the Tesla hauling the little Subaru. Tell me about the battery percentage. It should be the same as when we left last time, right?
Yes, it is 82% according to my dash trip meter.
What do you think we're gonna be left at the top of the mountain when we get to our trailhead to turn around? Not towing, we were at 69%. What do you think we're gonna be left at towing?
I think it will be drastically more energy used because we've done a night gauntlet in this Tesla Model X before, and we know, that this car can eat up a lot of energy. It has a lot of power, but it needs electricity to keep moving up a mountain.
I'm gonna say you are going to be at 39%. That's my guess.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna lose at least 35% one way.
All right, well, we'll see when we get up there, huh?
All right, Tommy, I'm starting the climb in the Tesla.
Yeah, that's right. So for the last 15 or so miles, it's been pretty much rolling up and down, but from here on out to our turnaround at the trailhead, it's basically straight up this mountain. So how is the Tesla towing? How's the power?
Well, the power is absolutely no issue. It just basically has full power always. I can accelerate instantly. I can hear the hitch in the trailer more in the Tesla. In the Lexus, even though it has a giant V8, I could tell that there was 5,000 pounds behind me. So there's no sensation that the vehicle is working harder. But there is a sensation after I look at the screen and I can see my range dropping.
Does it feel as stable on the road as the Lexus?
Yeah, the stability on the Tesla feels really good. I was a little bit worried about it because it's not a body and frame SUV, and that's probably why I'm hearing the hitch a little bit more. Because the frame on the Lexus absorbs a lot of that shock. My range is dropping, my percentage of battery is dropping. Currently, since we started climbing, I'm using 924 watt-hours per mile.
That's quite a lot. Kind of just driving around every day, that car averages about 350 watt-hours per mile. So that's a pretty immense difference, huh?
Gonna be drained of energy in 34 miles. Right now I'm using about 1,593 watt-hours per mile.
We made it to our turnaround here, 32 miles. Through Boulder and then up the mountain. Now I guessed that the Tesla would be up here at 39% towing. Andre, was I close?
I'm at 49.
Oh, not that close.
Not that close, but I still used about 33% of the battery, which means 1% per mile.
That's a lot, actually, Andre.
Yes.
So, on the screen, go to the 30-mile metric. What is the average watt-hour per mile?
I'm at 897 watt-hours per mile, almost 1 kilowatt-hour per mile, and I have 51 miles of range left.
Now, of course, Andre, that number is based off the current usage, which has been huge. But here's the interesting part. We used about twice as much energy getting up here towing as we did not towing. We used 15% of the battery getting up here not towing, and 33% of the battery getting up here towing, which is pretty incredible. Now, here's a question. Going back down the mountain, at the base of the mountain, I had gained 2% battery back not towing. What do you think we're going to gain back towing?
I think it's gonna be huge. I want to say 5% at least.
At the top of the mountain in the Lexus, you can see here we've been averaging 14.5 mpg, and the estimated range remaining is 269 down from 300. So Andre, we've been going downhill for almost 8 miles now. Have you had to use the brakes at all, or has it all been regenerative braking?
I haven't touched the brakes once. Right now, though, I can tell that the Tesla is applying the brakes or aggressive deceleration by itself.
It's not using the actual discs, right? It's just putting a lot more power back into the battery using the motors to slow it down.
Yeah, and I can tell the graph of energy being regenerated. I can see exactly how much. It usually does about 50 kilowatts of instant power going back in. Alright dude, so we're near the bottom of the mountain and I'm showing 53% battery, which means I picked up 4% on the way down.
Yeah, that's really interesting because not towing on the same route, I only picked up 2%. So we pretty much doubled the amount we regened coming down the mountain. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, but it kind of makes sense. You know, we doubled the usage going up, or more than doubled, and then doubled the regen. So it works out, I think, both ways.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But of course, the amount you regen is always going to be less than the amount that you put into the motors going up the same hill. Unfortunately, physics can be a bit of a turd. It'd be cool if we could regen the same amount we put down, but it's not going to happen. Alright, so here comes Andre, and immediately we see an issue. You see Tesla's plug in from the rear, and Tesla has their supercharger set up so you actually plug in the car by backing into the slot. Obviously something we can't do with the trailer.
I'm at 43%.
Good, that's
which
pretty good.
means I used 39%.
In total.
In total.
Yeah, that's right. So the one pull-in slot there is currently occupied by a Model 3, and we couldn't get our trailer around that anyway, so I guess we're going to have to unhitch and then fuel up, but this is going to take a long time.
I'm about to charge the Tesla. Let's start the timer.
Here we go. I'll even help you out, Andre.
Thank you.
Of course, no credit cards to swipe. Come on. Open. There it goes. Just plug it in and it automatically bills the credit card. Now, once again, we have to charge this car back up to 82%, just like we did the first time, because that's what we started with. So from 43% to 82%, let's see how long that takes.
There you go, sweet juice, sweet energy.
All right, let's fill up the Lexus. Of course, we are not towing on this round, so let's see what the numbers are. All right, 30 seconds. All right, let's see what the final numbers are here. Done. So it took 1 minute and 31 seconds to fill up the Lexus. 3.641 gallons is what we use in the Lexus, not towing. So let me do a quick bit of math here. 64 divided by 3.641 equals 17.5 miles per gallon, and the cost to fill it up, not towing, $8.81.
Now Tommy is refueling in the Lexus and I'm waiting here in the Tesla. And currently the charging rate is really fast. Let me show you. Now that's about almost 400 miles per hour it's gaining, technically. Already gained 5 kilowatt hours. That's just been a couple of minutes, few minutes. And it says time remaining is 30 minutes for me to actually go back to about 82%. The charge is complete. So far, 29 minutes. Okay, not awful, but I need to hook up the trailer still.
So Andre, we went from 43 back up to 82% in 29 minutes. Versus like a minute 30 what? In the Lexus. I don't know how Andre managed to get 5 minutes filling up the Lexus. Andre, you forgot to unplug it.
Oh, do I have to unplug it? I'm sorry, I'm new at this.
Trying to drive off plugged into the supercharger. Good, stop.
Wow, we're like a Formula One pit crew. This is great, Tommy. 31 minutes and 51 seconds.
Yeah, but keep in mind we started after we unhitched.
Yeah, so add another minute. So that is about 33 minutes.
Yeah. That's slower than the gas car.
Yeah, it is much slower.
Well, let's head back to the office and look at some numbers and see which one did better. So on the empty loop, the Lexus used 14.8% of its total fuel capacity. Now compare that to towing. On the towing loop, surprisingly enough, it used 20.6% of its total fuel capacity. Now if we quickly do a little bit of subtraction, we'll figure out the difference between those two is just 5.8%.
Now for the electric SUV, the Tesla Model X, the reported percentage of battery used or total energy used unladen empty was 17%. And when towing, things changed dramatically, 39%. So what have we learned here? Well, we learned that it's a difference of 22%, more than doubling the energy usage. So the truck, the gas-powered V8, which is already relatively inefficient, did not become too much more inefficient, only about 6%. But the Tesla was very efficient empty, but used a lot more energy when towing.
So what about the cost to drive the loop empty in the Lexus? Well, to go the 64 miles using premium fuel, unfortunately, it cost $8.81. Now, when we hooked up 5,000 pounds behind the Lexus, of course the cost went up because the fuel used went up, and all of a sudden that cost turned into $13.49 while towing. Now, the total cost, the amount of fuel we put into the Lexus today, came to just over $22.
At the supercharger, the Tesla reported the total cost of charging when it was unladen on the loop at $4.25. So already less than half of the fuel cost on the Lexus. And then when towing, of course, the price went up because the energy went up, and that was $9.75. So altogether, about what, $14 here, and altogether in the Lexus was about over 22 bucks. So it's cheaper to run the Tesla.
What about the amount of time it took to refill and recharge the vehicles? Because this is a big difference. Now in the gas car, it should have been about the same amount of time. So for the Lexus, it took me about 1 minute and 31 seconds to refill on the empty loop. But for some reason, it took Andre like over 5 minutes to refill during the towing loop. Clearly it wasn't taking additional time to fill in the gas. Okay, a little bit more, but maybe he was picking his nose or going wee or buying some snacks or something. But figure the average refill time on a gas car is going to be about 3 minutes.
Now when Tommy was charging the Tesla after the unladen loop in the Tesla, took about 19 minutes, and majority of that time is actually getting the energy out of the grid because the hookup and payment is instantaneous basically. And then when we were towing in a Tesla, it took about 33 minutes to charge. And that was partially also because we had to unhook and hook the trailer because we couldn't charge the Tesla Model X with the trailer attached. So that's a drastic. So we went from about 3 minutes average to what, over 30 minutes. That's tenfold as far as time to refill.
Now here's a question for Andre. He drove both of them towing. Which one was more confident and which one would he rather tow with?
Given the choice between the Lexus SUV, otherwise known as the Boot, or the Sneaker or the Tesla Model X, towing, guys, if you're going long distance, like for example going to a lake about 50 miles like I do, one way, it has to be still gas because the energy density in an electric car is not quite there yet to tow longer distance. So I still have to, at this moment, choose the gas-powered Lexus SUV. And go back to tflcar.com for more news, and real-world electric versus gas reviews.